What's up, guys? It's Gothiccornila Sam, and today we are continuing on our Asagao Academy Pro Jared route. So let us continue. Oh. There we go. It was the day of the fashion show that I caved. I rushed into my dorm room and found my stash of alcohol. It wasn't that I wanted to get drunk, it was just that I couldn't handle it. Didn't think I was going to be able to handle it. So I knew it was wrong, I knew it wasn't a good way to cope. But at that moment, with the responsibility that was suddenly thrust upon me, the alcohol emerged from the heavens as if by the hand of God. I opened the can and took my first sip. Ugh, what? This is disgusting. But I guess people don't drink for the taste. I drank first one can, then two. I didn't know how much to drink to have an effect. I'd seen people drinking before, but they all seemed to need 3 or 4 cans before they even started getting tipsy. I made it through 3 cans before I looked up and realized the room was wobbling before my face. What? I moved my head left to right and then tilted it from shoulder to shoulder. I feel, my head feels so heavy. Oh, I shouldn't be speaking this out loud. I should be thinking. I giggled, feeling very distant from the gnawing anxiety that still clawed at my stomach. I think it worked. I looked at the clock. 12:40? When was the show? 1? 2? I shook my head. I should get going. I stood and immediately fell back on the floor, giggling. I was unprepared for the amount of pressure that was going to be on my knees. Don't worry, I'll do better this time. I stood again, this time more carefully. It took a second for my head to catch up to where my body was, but when it did, my balance was fine. To the fashion show! Somehow, someway, I made it to the theater. The back room was very dark and buzzing with people, mostly tall, beautiful Asagao students in a rainbow of high-fashion ensembles. Loud music was thumping from the main room of the theater, reverberating in my already dazed head. I looked around nervously for Jared, hoping for a few encouraging words from my boyfriend before getting out on stage. Unfortunately, he was nowhere to be found. I could only assume he was too ashamed of his face to even be backstage. Hana, over here. I turned to see Mimi and Kakusu. Kakusu was holding up a makeup brush and smiling cheerfully while Mimi clutched a clipboard and tried to look important. You're late. I'm sorry, Before I could finish, Kakusu grabbed my hand and dragged me over to a brightly lit vanity mirror that was swimming with makeup. She applied thick, sticky gloss to my lips that I instantly wanted to wipe off. I watched the other students behind me in the mirror. Some were practicing their walks with perfect poise, others were cooing excitedly over each other's outfits. Everyone looked so happy and prepared. I gulped. All finished. I looked back at myself in the mirror. Kakusu had applied a tasteful, natural amount of makeup to my slightly flushed face. Wow, Kakusu, it looks really good. I took care to turn my face away from her as I spoke, pretending to inspect the light blush on the left side of my cheek. Last thing I needed was for Kakusu to give me an exact readout of my current blood alcohol level. Affirmative. Mimi will help you with your dress now. Alright. I stood up carefully, steadying myself in the vanity. Mimi was across the room, helping a tall brunette into a beautiful, flowy green dress. I took a deep breath and walked over. Mimi's face crinkled at the sight of me. Alright, let's see. She looked down at her clipboard, searching for my name. Hana. Alright, here you are. She turned to a large metal clothing rack behind her. Her hand hovered over the dresses before picking out a bright, glittering magenta dress. That's my dress? Mimi smirked, looking quite pleased with my reaction. Jared picked it out especially for you. He said it would went well with your hair. I gulped. I questioned a lot of things about Jared and our relationship, but his taste in clothing was never one of them. Alright. Now hurry up and get dressed. You're walking in 5 minutes. You want me to change here? I glanced around nervously. The room was full of people. There was no time for shame, which made me make sure to emphasize with an impatient tapping of her foot. Now! I positioned myself away from as many people as possible before undressing down to my underwear. I covered as much of myself as I could with one arm as I unsteadily stepped into my dress, my knees threatening to give out under me. Mimi zipped up the back and then whirled me around to face a full-length mirror. The sudden motion made my stomach churn. I stared at myself, mouth agape. The neckline plunged all the way down to my chest. The dress was fitted, and the fabric bunched at my feet. It was itchy and way too long. I sucked in a deep breath. Oh yeah, and Hana? No glasses on the runway. Mimi snatched the glasses right off my face before I could react. But I can't see without my glasses. It's just a straight line. You can walk in a straight line, can't you? In my current state, that was questionable. Mimi turned to a large rack of shoes. Since the dress is too long, you'll have to wear heels. She considered her options before selecting a silver pair 4 inches long. Here. I took them and looked them over. But I've never walked in heels. I don't know if I even can. Tears stung in my eyes. I desperately held them back, not wanting to ruin my makeup or go on stage with red puffy eyes. Mimi's face softened for a moment, but then she frowned. It's not my fault you're too damn short for your dress. She huffed and laughed. I sat on the floor, careful not to ruin the dress. I pulled the shoes on and wobbled to my feet, feeling like a baby giraffe standing for the very first time. Oh, God. I drew a deep breath and steadied myself with the wall. You can do this, Hana. You can do this. You just have to focus. Who are you talking to, Hana? No one. I mean, myself. It's time for you to get in line. May I assist you? I took Kakusu's arm. She led me to the edge of the stage where a line of girls and guys were waiting for their turn to walk. Here you are, Hana. I sighed as she left. My heart was beating wildly in my chest. I clenched and unclenched my fists, trying to steady the nervous tremors that crept into my fingers. I just had to walk. Well, walk, turn around, and then walk again. That didn't sound too hard. I took a deep breath and concentrated my mind on Jared. If he thought I could do it, then surely I could, right? The line got shorter and shorter until finally I was next. I watched the boy in front of me step confidently out onto the stage. He was dressed in a blue sequin tuxedo that lit up as soon as the bright lights of the stage hit it. I peeked up from behind the curtain, squinting against the brightness. I scanned the audience carefully. Where are you, Jared? Without my glasses, it was hard to see. Luckily, I didn't need perfect vision to spot the paper bag that I only assumed was Jared in the front row. He was sitting between two blurry blobs that looked like Zatch and PBG. I relaxed a little bit, but it was short-lived. Walk! Someone hissed at me from the shadows. I stumbled forward, my heart skipping a beat. I was suddenly bathed in blinding light. Cheers erupted in the audience from who I assumed to be Mai in the Normal Boots Club. I put one foot in front of the other, trying desperately not to make a fool of myself. As I wobbled down the runway, I glanced to where Jared was seated. He waved and gave me a thumbs up. The gesture gave me a tiny surge of confidence. It must have helped, because I made it to the end of the runway without incident. A smile crept across my face as I paused and struck what I hoped was a not completely stupid pose. Cheers rang out again. I turned and started back, and made it about halfway. Hick! Oh, God! Hiccups. I continued to walk, but it happened again. Hick! Something, somewhere went wrong. Distracted by my hiccups, I stepped incorrectly, or maybe my foot slipped and got caught on the dress. At some point, however, I went down. It happened in slow motion. The runway drew closer to my face. My hands flew out to catch myself. I squeezed my eyes shut. I fell, smashed my face against the floor. Gas flew up around me like ghosts. I felt the color drain from my face. I tried to stand up and fell again, this time on my knee. Again, I tried to stand and fell. No matter how I tried, I couldn't stand again. I stared at my hands on the stage, eyes watering. My hands! I moved them and put them across the catwalk like a slinky or a snail. It was almost fun if it weren't for the everything that made it not. I made it backstage as the next girl strode up behind the curtain. I was greeted with silence by the staff. Mimi stood by the clothes rack in the back of the room, staring at me with a sly expression. I didn't say anything. Someone lent me their arm, and I stood with quivering legs. Only now I realized how little strength they had. Must have been very afraid for them to go limp on me like this. Someone led me to a chair and sat me down. I stayed there for a while, looking at my hands until... Hana, are you okay? I nodded silently. Why are you wearing Akiko's dress? I couldn't understand what he was talking about. My head was absolutely swimming from the potent mix of alcohol and embarrassment. Akiko's dress? Yeah, that was Akiko Yoshida's dress. Who put you in that dress? All at once it hit me. I glanced over to where Mimi had been standing, but she was gone. You're telling me this isn't my dress? No, Akiko is way taller than you, and besides, I would have never chosen that color for you. He took my hands in his, kneeling down to look me in the eyes. I turned my head away in shame, but Jared gently turned it back with a finger under my chin. Your dress was blue. I picked it because it perfectly matched your eyes. It was going to be the climax of the show, the most important piece of the whole collection. I thought if you wore it, maybe you could see how beautiful you are. I thought you could see yourself the way I see you. I opened my mouth to tell him what Mimi did, but I shook my head. Mimi may have tried to sabotage me, but I knew that my own poor decision was ultimately the reason I fell on stage. I had to be honest with him. I needed to come clean. Jared, I'm drunk. He blinked at me. God, that explains... Why are you drunk? I didn't even know you drank. I don't. I was so scared and I just wanted to have a little, but I think I had too much. How much did you drink? 3 cans. Hana, you're tiny and a woman, and you have no tolerance, and you're not used to the effects. I know, it was stupid. Tears pricked at the back of my eyes. Jared shook his head. No, I didn't mean. You should have told me if it was such a big deal for you. But I wanted to help you, and you said I was beautiful, and it was such a big deal for you. Shh. Jared pulled me into a hug. Is this okay? Not too much PDA? I shook my head. This is fine. I needed this. Thank you for doing this for me, Hana. I nodded into his shoulder. But why was it such a big deal for you? He pulled away from me, looking me in the eyes. I guess after all this, you deserve to know, don't you? The thing is... Creeps! Creeps or pasta! Heyo! Hello, you two. The nurse showed up out of nowhere and made a beeline right for me. Terror flooded through me. If you found out I was drunk, my entire scholarship would be in jeopardy. I was in the audience and I saw you fall. Are you alright? It looked quite painful. I'm fine. I held my breath, too terrified to speak, suddenly self-conscious of every action. If only I could get a hold of what I was moving, then maybe it wouldn't be apparent, right? I glanced at Jared, who was looking at Creeps with as much fear as I was. I'll do a quick checkup on your leg just to make sure. He bent down in front of me and tweaked my ankle. Do you feel anything here? No. His head shot up and he gave me a very strange look. Do you feel this then? He tapped the top of my knee. No. He gave me a sharp look. Speak to me again. I clamped my mouth shut and shook my head. Creeps placed his head... I love Creeps and pasta. Sorry. I love Creeps with pasta, though. Oh my god, so much love. Anyway. Creeps placed his head next to mine, looking eye to eye with me. What is your name? Hana Mizuno. I see. He stepped away from me. And who snuck alcohol into the school? I froze and stared at him, eyes wide. I could smell it on your breath. What should I do? I couldn't tell him it was mine, but if I said it was me, my scholarship. My thoughts were slow and sluggish, like I was trying to hold on to wet rubber balls without dropping them into a muddy stream. I should... Not going to tell me? I drew in a deep breath. It was... I did it. Jared stood up next to me and my jaw dropped open. Jared? I did it. I'm sorry. Mr. McPasta frowned. Jared, we're going to the headmaster's office. Miss Mizuno. I know what kind of situation you're in. Go straight to your room to sober up. Try not to get caught by anyone else on the way there. I don't know if they'll be as lenient as I'm being. He looked regretful for a moment, then... If you really are under so much stress, you should come see me. There are healthier ways you can learn to deal with this. Tears filled my eyes, but I said nothing. Well then, Jared, come with me. Jared shot me one last look, but it was not what I expected to see. He didn't seem angry. He didn't look sad. Instead, he seemed urgent, as if he was saying, Get out of here! He wasn't even worried about himself. I wiped the tears from my face and stood from my chair. If I left out the back door and walked quickly, I could make it in time. I made it to the room without incident, but as I walked in and shut the door, I collapsed on the ground. I was so tired. Why was I so tired? Hana! Mai rushed to my side. I saw your fall, but they won't let me get backstage again. Are you okay? Mai, Jared got in trouble. What? Tell me what happened. I told her about how Jared took the fall for her and me, my tears making it difficult to talk. Jared, did that for me? For you? Mai, what are we gonna do? I don't know. Look, you're in no shape to be thinking about this, and I'm not sure there's anything we can do. She lifted me by the arm and led me to my bed. Don't worry about anything. She handed me a full glass of water. Drink. I obeyed. Good, now sleep this off. I'm sure by the time you wake up, things will have restabilized themselves somehow. I nodded. Mai helped me into my PJs and I crawled under my covers. I was so tired. My eyes were so heavy. I just wanted to forget what had happened. Hana. Hana? Someone's at the door. I think you should answer it. I sat up groggily, then a sharp pain struck my head. Oh my god. My stomach felt raw, like it was set on fire and was trying to return to normal functioning. It was nausea, but the most burning form of nausea I've ever experienced. Oh my gosh, are you hungover? Never mind. That can wait till later. Answer the door. I pulled on some clothes, making each movement with care as to not upset my stomach even further. I crossed the room and after a courtesy glance in the mirror, opened the door. Hana. Jared! Jared, why did you do that? Why'd you take the blame? You have a perfect reputation. You're going to get in so much trouble and... It's fine. Creeps and I made up a story that I snuck alcohol backstage to cope with the pressure from the show. He said that's why I didn't perform in the first place. They didn't say anything because you or any of the other students. I still got in trouble, but because of my perfect reputation, they're mostly letting it slide. But why? You were in trouble, and I don't know, I did it on impulse. I guess I wanted to protect you. And I did. I could tell he was smiling weakly under the bag, but as my own anxiety faded, I noticed how lethargic he seemed. I stepped out into the hallway with him and shut the door behind me. What's wrong? You can tell something is bothering me? Is it obvious even through the bag? I don't think it's obvious, but he sighed. Let's go for a walk. We stepped out into the night air. I remembered how, just a few weeks earlier, I was out on another night, running from Jared and fear. But it was then that I found out he had a terrible secret. Now he was going to tell me another one? We walked in silence for a while. Jared had his hands in his jacket pockets. I imagined his hands were warmer than my own, but I was glad my hands were cold. It distracted me from the pounding in my head. It's about my family. I might have mentioned that I was raised to know a lot about the traditional Japanese arts. That's true. My family is well known, but, well, you know. My family's name isn't Nakenbauer. Is it Nabenbauer? Wait, Nakenbauer? I don't know how he pronounces his name. I'm sorry, Jared. It's Nadeshiko. I stopped in my tracks. Nadeshiko? Isn't that the name of... The Nadeshiko School of Traditional Japanese Arts, founded in 1644, who've been around for hundreds of years, pioneers in the traditional forms of dance, calligraphy, flower arrangement, adornment, kendo, and yes, tea ceremonies. The Nakashita School of Traditional Japanese Arts. Among artisans, it was primarily known as the Institute. My parents talked about it all the time at the shop. My mom wanted to get into a class there, and even I had been saving up before she got sick. My dad had always looked to their designs for inspiration when arranging the flower displays. Each spring when the new designs came out, the name floated around the dining room table for weeks. Here was the apparent flesh and blood of the Institute itself, standing right before me. But you're... Too rebellious and free-spirited to ever be tamed by an ancient tradition and distinguished family name? I know. I was going to say white. As you would expect, being raised with such a history, I was expected to carry on the family name and not besmirch our reputation. My birth already kind of ruined that, though. Is that why your last name is Nabenbauer? He nodded. My father took a mistress, my mother. I took her name because she was never allowed to have his. My father died, and my mom, through a series of events, was incorporated as head of one of the branches. She thinks if I can just behave well enough, eventually I will be accepted and allowed to run a branch of the school, if not the whole thing. I'll be rich, we'll be set for life, we'll have fame and prestige we deserved, and she'll finally be acknowledged by her husband's, or lover's, family. I think, to her, it's what she needs to feel like she can see him after she dies. Right? So it's a lot of pressure. I've been expected to be perfect my whole life. But when you're as naturally flawless as me, it's not too hard, but it can be demanding. Failure isn't tolerated. Loss of image is not tolerated. I don't think I've had a true friend since coming here and meeting the Normal Boots Club. It took years to convince my mother to let me come here. Only the prestige of the academy saved me. I was able to have fun here. All the ceremonies and shows I did, all the tournaments and announcements, and even my girlfriends. He glanced at me sheepishly. Sorry. For the first time, maintaining an image was half work and half fun. But for now, I guess all that work meant nothing. He stared wistfully at the night sky. The headmaster's going to call my mother, and she's going to find out. Maybe she'll be able to keep it under wraps. I don't know. My mom can be very scary, ruthless even. But it'll definitely get out around the school, and from there, well, my image is ruined. He sighed. Yeah, it's weird. I've worked for my entire life, some 17 years, to keep up this up. I couldn't tell if I hated it or loved it. But now that it's ruined, I feel sad. I miss it. Jared, you threw away so much because of me. No, hey, stop. I'm not telling you this to make you feel bad, but now you know. He rubbed his arms. I could tell he was smiling under his bag. It's cold. What do you say we go inside? We returned to the girls' dorm, making our way slowly up to my room. I didn't know what to say. The truth of Jared's upbringing, the entirety of what he sacrificed by accepting the blame, it was too much for me to process. It definitely wasn't making my headache any better. We reached my room, and Jared shuffled awkwardly. Well, then I guess... I put a hand in my mouth. I felt really weird. My headache was worse. My stomach was burning even more. Hana, are you okay? He put a hand on my forehead, looking at me with concern. I don't feel... Oh no. He pulled me by the arm, sprinting down the hall. Hold it in, please hold it in. We flew into the bathroom and Jared practically threw me in a stall. and just in time. As Jared gathered my hair in his hands, I vomited like I had never vomited before. Isn't this nice? No! Ugh. Jared chuckled quietly. We've gotten ourselves into one hell of a mess, haven't we? He tenderly rubbed my back. I was embarrassed, horribly embarrassed, but I was also beyond the point of feeling that embarrassment. I just wanted it to end. I guess everyone will hate me now. What? Well, I'm not what I pretended to be. People like me because I was perfect, and now that I'm not. That's not true. It'll be interesting to see how it turns out, won't it? He chuckled again. I don't like to admit it, but I'm scared. Alright, and that's where we're going to end this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like what you see, please leave a like, comment down below. And I will see you in the next episode.